Hello, hello, welcome. Welcome to the official Identity Rebels stream. I hope everything sounds clear. I hope the video is clear. This is a very exciting time for me, and I'm just really happy to be here to showcase what I've been doing for so long. And I appreciate you stopping by. Make sure you drop a like on the video so we could get this reach out as much as possible. You know how it is when we stream. How y'all feeling, by the way? Sorry, I'm just like sending out a few text messages. It officially starts at 6. Yo, welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. Smith, it's been good, man. It's been real busy, you know? But it was all worth it up until this point. I know this is on my division or my other YouTube channel. Usually, I was supposed to stream this on my Identity Games channel, but for some reason they said I had like a 24-hour wait before I could stream. Because I never streamed on that channel, so I mean, I guess when you stream it for the first time on a relatively new channel, then you have to wait a grace period. Hey Alpha, what's going on, cuz? How you doing, man? It's been a while. Shout out to my little cousin Alpha. Go subscribe to his channel. He's been a content creator for a while now. Well, I'm just trying to play my game, man. You know, this is the official day of Steam Next Festival, and this is my first scheduled event, Unleashing Identity Rebels, and this is the first time I'll be playing live for you what I've done so far, explaining to you everything. You know, if you have any questions to ask, then I'll answer anything you want about the future of what's happening and everything. What's going on, Taz? Welcome to the stream, everybody. Drop a like on the stream. Let's get it. Let's get it. I looked at the page and it said this has over. Let me show you real quick. I don't know how significant this is, but it's got a pretty much a good amount of impressions. I don't know. I don't know what any of this means, by the way. So far, it has like 3,112. So we'll see how it goes. You know, we'll see how everything goes. Give me 1 second, y'all. How's everyone feeling, by the way? Appreciate that, Taz. Oh, appreciate that, Raj. Thanks for the support, everyone. All right, so let's not waste any more time. Okay, so when I first launched this, I wanted it to be an animated menu screen. You know, in game dev, there's a lot of things that just don't work. What up, Derek? My neighbor over there. What's happening, man? Zero, what's up, bro? Appreciate y'all, man. Y'all have no idea. Does it sound good and everything? Is it clean? Is it smooth? Yeah, it's been about a year and almost like a year and a half in game development, and it's crazy how far I've come. Like where it was, I didn't know anything. So this was supposed to be more dramatic. It was supposed to be an animated scene, right, where they're standing up there looking hard for them. I can show you that later. But, you know, I had to make sure everything was clean, like everything was working. You know, it's more important to make sure the code is working rather than things look solid. That's solid. See if I could turn it down. I hope that helped. See if the music pops back on. Is that better? Okay, it's not gonna be that loud. That's just the music. So once we start,
I told Aegis not to go by himself, but you know how he is, ambitious and brave. He decided to try and infiltrate Regime City with no intel, to try and figure out something that we needed to know to get in there. So the regime captured him and locked him up in this outpost prison. It's our job to get him out in order to find out what he discovered within Regime City.
what's up, Zach? Little nephew here.
Cypher here. Hope you guys can hear me clearly. It was difficult trying to get into Regime's frequency signal without being detected in front of you. I provided a few of the essentials to get you started. I'll be watching from a close distance. From the small amount of recon performed here, I've been able to gather a few of their patrol patterns. We need to take out the regime soldiers in the surrounding area.
Give me
Move
1 second.
slowly,
I'll let y'all hear.
stay in cover, and use stealth to your advantage to eliminate the guards one by one. As a matter of fact, I do have some intel that'll help us be more discreet. It's risky, but well worth it. There's a high-ranking officer named Lieutenant Davison somewhere to the east of your location. He often performs solo combat training exercises. If you find and eliminate him, you can take the compound bow he holds so dear. He's not easy to kill by any means, but that bow is a weapon you will not regret utilizing throughout this mission. It's up to you.
Oh, thankfully he's right here. So usually you see this guy, Lieutenant Davison. This is just optional. This is not part of the mission at all. And you gotta find him over here towards the east, and he just roams around. And if you kill him, he'll give you a bow. He's an enemy right here. forgot how hard he hit. You got your teammate shooting.
Alright, grab that bow. Once you do, it should be in your inventory to equip right away.
So basically the point of the game is to, if y'all don't know, there's a oppressive regime that has taken over society, basically. And the only way they were able to do that is to acquire a technology, a combat armament called Ultra Tech that is just crazy. Like, it has all of these capabilities, and an engineer designed it. And it's basically utilizing 0-point energy, which is only available at quantum level. So he was able to harness it through a special alloy and create this armor. And we have access to it, which you see right here. I designed this armor in Blender myself. I drew it, and they each do different things. So based on what you have on, besides the build that you equip, so you got helmet, chest piece, gloves, and shoes. And the chest piece has abilities, right? The helmets and the gloves and the shoes just have perks, which are less than an ability. So this right here is called impregnable. It's like a bubble shield that gives you immunity for a certain amount of time. And also, I have like something called a stim pack, where it gives you damage resistance for a certain amount of time. So like, this is just one of the things, and then you have these shoes where you got a speed boost, and that's the perk called Rabbit's Foot, and that's a DPS shoe. So like, oh, I just got killed. Anyway, this is just the first mission, and I wanted to just run this mission for you guys so I can show you what it's about. Because I have also an open world area, and I have like different areas that you can go to, and this is just like a foreshadowing of what's to come, because I had to get ready for this festival, and I had to do it a lot, you know what I'm saying? So there were some things that I could not get done. So I did the best I can, you know what I'm saying? But I really appreciate y'all being here, for real. Wish I had like a stronger weapon. I wish there was a way I could make it lower. I got a nice little sniper here. I can hear it, it is a bit loud. I think I'm gonna just use the healer chest piece. This one gives you the ability to toss out a heal kit on the ground and also heal yourself. So like, this is gonna be multiplayer as well, eventually. So you can heal your teammates. That's the heal kit right there.
Okay, now find bunker B. The key card needed to free Aegis should be in there.
You say even more powerful than the 0-point Half-Life. You know what? It was crazy. I haven't even. You would think I'm crazy. I haven't even played Half-Life. So if you want, you could go and play this yourself. You can download the demo. The link is in the description of the video. It takes you to my Steam page, and there's a big green button that says download demo. It's like 18 to 20 gigs or something like that. Fight these guys. I just want I think I'm gonna just dip over there. Oh, you're gonna be stupid, huh? Oops. Alright, so apparently I'm not as good as I thought I was in my own game. So basically the goal of this mission is to rescue one of your fellow comrades who's been captured. Exactly, especially like in Division. So this is the helmet I was telling you guys about. If you looked at my video, my devlog, my latest devlog, it has like a perk on it called Entropic Scanner, where it deals the damage over time debuff to the enemy when you activate it on it. I think it's pretty dope. And there are some things that I wanted to address as far as like the damage. Here's a helmet right here. There's supposed to be like headshot damage, and there's supposed to be damage like with weapon talents, to where if you're like within 15 meters, you do 15% more damage, or if you're 20 meters or more, you deal more damage, deadly distance in close quarters. I told you guys that I lost a lot of my data. What's up, Dub? What's going on? And I want better weapons. This is the whole thing with looters. You get show you how this scanner really works. Need like a legendary AR. That's what I need. Oh snap! She's taking damage over time because I hit her with it. Maybe me something. I need to put more range on that proximity mine. That's ridiculous.
Alright, let's get out of here. Oh no, wait! They deployed a quadruped mech and additional soldiers to stop you. They're blocking our extraction point. We gotta fight our way through. I see no other option. Let's do this.
Oh boy. They're all aggro now. It is kind of loud. I'm about to get out of here. I didn't know it was that. Really do. Oh, we got bugs. Alright, anyway. Okay, I'm not here. There we go. So you don't really have to kill any of the enemies. Just kill the quad and you good. Head over to the extraction. But after this, I just want to show you guys like the open world area and a couple other areas.
Mission accomplished. Now let's get out of here.
So this is the open world map that I designed or whatever. So you got like the dead zone where it's like a snowy wasteland. I think that's pretty dope. It's kind of difficult there. It has a faction called the 𝐥𝐤𝐬. This is ground zero where the nuclear bomb hit that the regime launched. It's like a little area. You'll see. But yeah, this is the open world area map that I made. We can head over there right now. So look, I'm a realist, y'all, and ever since I started on game development, I was doing my research on, expectations people have. And honestly, I have no expectations whatsoever about how this is gonna do, how it's gonna perform, anything. And I've heard stories, like horror stories, of people like getting into this and trying to, like, getting a lot of good impressions from people they know, like, oh yeah, your game is good, your game is great, do this and that. And so when they launched their game, like, there was this one development team that got like 10,000 wish lists, or I forgot how many wish lists they had, but they spent like $10,000 rather on their game and spent like 2 years developing it. And then when they went to launch, it was like they got like a ridiculous amount of low sales, like 4 or 5. It was crazy. And then, people were just telling them their game was good and this and that. I'm a realist. I want y'all to be very constructive. I want you to give me constructive criticism about how you think it is. Of course, there are little details in like movement and, recoil on the weapon when they shoot that I want to address. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, I wanted the functionality of the game to work just in general. First, let me go ahead and I'm gonna go to this place called the Sanctuary that I designed. And because I needed better weapons.
Now this part,
those rare weapons aren't doing it for me. I'm not about to be getting marked because it gets more difficult when I go to like the dead zone stuff.
Completely out of reach from the regime or any other threats for that matter. This is where you can test out your weapons, ultra tech abilities, and movement. Everything you need is in the armory.
That's a little rocket line. All right. Oh, sniper now. Hey, what's going on, 𝐤𝐤𝐬? Welcome. All that matters is that you're here. Let's drop a like on this stream, man. I appreciate it. What weapon y'all want to see me use? It's up to you. I mean, I'll use a sniper, but got a shotty, got a pistol. Yeah, I also have SMGs out in the open world, which are really sweet. I really like the SMGs. So here's this, I designed this area. It's called the Sanctuary. It's just basically an area where you could come test out your weapon. It's pretty much a safe zone. And the reason why I put enemies in here is to test weapons. I'd rather have enemies rather than like targets or test dummies. For the most part, you can just come here and chill, listen to the ambient sounds. And you can see that that's where the regime city is at. So it's far out of reach from any threats or whatever. I just thought it was a cool idea. I think I'm gonna populate this area more, make it like different areas. This is not necessarily a base of operations, it's just like a place to chill. Just came here to get a weapon. Sorry, buddy. Yeah, legendary weapons are way stronger. It's supposed to have a recoil effect on it when I shoot, right? Hi. Alright. At this open world area. So when the regime had taken over, or whatever, there was like a civil war in the city when they acquired Ultratech, and some of the rebels, you know, that fought against them, and they escaped with some of the tech, which is how you have it, right? And there's also going to be ultimate abilities for each one. I just wasn't able to do that right away. And this area right here is where they launched a nuclear bomb, because after the civil war, people escaped from the city. Because the city is surrounded by walls, and it's like they just rule over it with oppression and violence. So the people who escaped into the city or whatever, people still living out freely, they couldn't take it, so they launched a nuclear bomb to try and just annihilate whoever was there. And so this area is pretty much ground zero, and I wanted to make it more like populated with destroyed buildings. And I was researching like aftermath of nuclear explosions, and it pretty much looks like this. Nothing really in there except for like an open area, but I wanted to make it a little interesting and different things in it. And there's like a dust storm that spawns whenever you go in the middle. This is ground zero, and it's like the radiation is very prevalent, no damage. This is also where like abominants can spawn. I don't remember that before. And this is the open world area that I designed so far. It's not complete, but this is what I could do in a lot of time. Much as I could do. So this is basically years after the explosion. No, it's not. It's not done. It's not finished. This is Redline. This is the Steam Next Festival, day one, and the people who are in the Steam Next, including me, are allowed to have 2 stream events where they could, you know, the developers plan their own game, explain everything that's happening, and answer any questions anyone has about the festival or about the game. In this area, I really like this area because it's, you know, it's a full day and night system, and it has random weather conditions. So at any given time, it'll be like a rainstorm, a thunderstorm. And if any of you have been following me, like my devlogs, you would know that I wanted to have like a full weather system, and to see it like working in effect is amazing. And like I said, all of this is work in progress. Remember, I'm doing this solo, so I had to do like the environment and everything. Alright, I know where the good weapons are. I'm gonna go get it. Appreciate that, Redline. Yeah, I mean, those people who've been here from the beginning, they know how much I've done with this so far, man. Yes, so okay, so that's a good question, Redline. So every single building in here, if I want, I can make it enterable. You can enter every single building, right? So if we come in, okay, there's an abominant right there. I don't really want to deal with him. He saw me. So he'll just never stop chasing. And I want to make him harder because at the moment he's kind of easy to dodge. But if he hits you, then he'll do a lot of damage. Right? Yeah. So this building right here. You can go all the way to the top, and there's nothing, like, it's vacant at the moment, right? But I could do some crazy environmental storytelling. I could do whatever I want, you know. Like everything is explorable. But see, the whole thing I want to address with games in general, right? With video games in general, what I realized just playing video games growing up from experience, right? What makes them last after like campaign? That's fine to have nice missions, campaign, and everything like that in game. What makes it last is like PvP or multiplayer, because you can always memorize the layouts of what's happening in any game. It just and, you know, the replay value just goes down after a while. When you play PvP, you never experience the same thing twice. You know, it's always something different, and that's what I plan on doing with this game, but like an engaging PvP. This guy's glitched up there. I'm gonna go grab, because there's an SMG. Some environmental storytelling here. You know, they're cannibals, so you know they gotta have their fill. Alright, so I got a nice little SMG right here. And this right here is a revolver. This thing hits so hard, I think I made the damage too high for this. And for the weapons, you know, I don't have any talents or anything that I wanted on for the weapons. I have a whole bunch of ideas. I made a devlog about it. I wanted to have, first of all, because each weapon does like a certain amount of damage. Like the SMG does like 70 damage per bullet. The AR like 100 damage per bullet. But I wanted to do it to where when you loot, you get like a legendary AR that has like a damage in the range of such and such, you know, so that you can get higher rolled damaged ARs, like good guy rolls and stuff like that, right? So I really liked, I don't know if y'all played Division 1. Of course y'all played Division 1, but for those who haven't played Division 1, they had this weapon talent system in the game to where they had like 3 talents. Even the exotics had like these random talents, but it always had that exotic talent. I like the idea that you could go hunt for, like, let's say you had a house, which is an exotic weapon, and then 2 other talents that you wanted to correspond with it based on the build you want to play. I like that kind of like method. Oh, big fella right there. Pretty easy to kill, but like I said, this is what I was talking about. So whenever he attacks, right, he's gonna make me stagger no matter what, right? Because he's slow. So this is to compensate for him. And that's dangerous when you have other like fast enemies around you, right? Because later on, I'm gonna show you this area called the dead zone. Well, he's not out there, but if there are fast enemies around, they can take advantage of that and kill you while he's doing it. Show you. Hope you don't kill me. Wrong attack, but so okay, now it's raining. See, this is what I was talking about. I love the idea, the random weather variation. So you're gonna lean more gear heavy or player skill heavy. So it's gonna be a healthy balance, you know, because you know, when it comes to that, like, you know how like certain games they have like, okay, this crit is a certain percentage, right? I want it to be really direct, so you know how much damage you're dealing and how much damage you're taking. So like, it's not really gonna be percentages. It's gonna be like more so direct. You're gonna know how much damage you're taking. When it comes to the skills, you have something called, you know, the impregnable ability where you damage immunity for a certain amount of time. But when you don't have that, you don't have anything. But when you have a healer, like the healer chest piece, you can use that. So the healer going against, like, let's say somebody with an impregnable ability, it boils down to skill at that point, because both of you have weak points to where you know you're vulnerable. So it just depends. And you know, I'm really high on like non-meta stuff, so I don't want something that's too overpowered. That's just gonna rule everything. This right here is, I like this proximity mine thing, right? This is not the only thing that it has. First of all, it doesn't have its stim pack available. Every chest piece class has a stim pack which does something. Like, you look to the right bottom, when I activate this, that's the stim pack. So you get damage immunity or damage resistant for like 10 seconds, right? And that shows you for how long it's up. That's the tank's stim pack. And nobody else has that but the tank. And then the healer, he has the instant heal. That right there, right? And that just heals you right away. Along with talent, which is kit out ability, which you know, also heal kit to your teammates or yourself. Now this is the healer helmet, right? But it's not the healer helmet for this chest piece. This is the DPS version helmet, and this is like the healer version helmet of the healer chest piece. I haven't made the talent for that helmet yet, so you can mix and match and whatnot. But what I'm saying, what I was saying was that this chest piece, it was supposed to have like an ability on here to where you can stealth kill enemies from behind. And you can only do that with this chest piece, right? Along with these proximity mines, and you deal like 25% more damage to enemies from behind. You know. So I mean, it's still some stuff that's work in progress. Gotta fix some of the lighting here when it's nighttime. It's like really dark. I have some lighting in the city, but the Zangief flare, yeah. Yeah, and it pulls you in too. I don't know what kind of effect I'm gonna have for these shoes. You know, the rabbit's foot perk. You know, fire is a bit extreme, but I think it was pretty cool thinking about it just for this demo, right? So you see that area over there where it looks like it starts to be desert? Look on the map. That leads into like the wasteland area. And I haven't made that yet. You look over here, it's the forest area, which eventually leads to like the rebel forest, and then like the base of operation, the main base of operation for rebels. Well, the flashlight has nothing to do with them being able to see you or not. I mean, like I can include that, like make it more intricate. Because okay, so what the enemies have right now for like the sense is like damage. So if they get shot, then they'll turn to you. See, and then they have sight. So if they get shot and if they see you, that's oh snap! I don't want to die right now. Sometimes the mines go through the floor. It's a little bit fucked up. Got a little, like a little mantle working. You have omnidirectional dodge roll as well, and you have a jump in certain areas. What's up, Charles? It's my moderator. Yeah, Miguel, me too. So here's the thing. I'm gonna show you something when I kill my next enemy, right? And this is what I talked about in one of my devlogs. When I kill an enemy, I didn't want it to be ragdoll right away, right? And this is what I was talking about when I said like physical animation, to where it's like a mixture of physics and animation. So like, I put like a little delay on when I kill them, right? When I kill them, you're gonna start to see like a regular like death animation, and then it's going to go into a ragdoll. So like as they're falling, they're gonna ragdoll and like by physics. Thanks, appreciate it. How dense do you plan to make the forest? Can't see too far in between the trees. Like animation summer, I can see forever. Okay, I can give you an example of how it's gonna look. I can go into the editor, show you how it's gonna look, what I have so far. But I want to make it like explorable. I don't know, like I just want to make it look like, I can't really explain it, because it's gonna be an area that where you can go and explore, and it's like a pathway to get through to go to somewhere else. So it's not gonna be like a huge forest, whatnot. Over guys. I really wish I had the recoil when it fire. You know, everything else is perfect. Like as far as the shooting, you see when he shoots, you see like the bullets and stuff hitting that. I like that, right? The recoil would be the icing on the cake. Judge me on this video. I think it's pretty dope. Let's go indoors. Look, okay, so I got these guys' animations right here, right? These collectors. Their animations are really fast when they die. So I had to like delay it, like make it real fast with the ragdoll. Except for this guy. You'll see what I'm talking about. Ragdoll. First animation to the ragdoll. I love that. That's cool. cool with this weather effects is so listen that the gold doors. It's still outside, but it's quiet in here, right? You can hear the raindrops on top of the roof. Yeah, there's a day-night cycle. Definitely. And this bow right here, this compound bow, I think it's really cool because it has like, so if you're fighting like a tank or whatever, or heavy, see, the arrows stick in them. But I have a whole bunch of arrows in them. Sorry, buddy. Yeah, like I said, every single building in here is enterable. Like, you know, my apologies for it being unfinished. You know, you have no idea. Like, okay, so let me tell you a crazy story. Halfway into this, when I found out I was gonna be in Steam Next, I lost my data, and it was pretty devastating. And I'm like, man, like I did so much here, man. Like, it was a major test that happened to me, right? And so I was trying to wonder, I'm like, am I going to be able to complete this or continue this before the rest of the weekend? So I had like half the time to put this together, and like so many things weren't complete. I had so many things like on here, on the previous ones that I don't have on it. Will the bow you be going with tension physics, like to hold it? I shouldn't I? Yeah, this right here. So I got this bow from like this weapons pack, and it already had like code built into it. So in order to get it to deal damage, I had to go in there and change some things. So I'm sure I'm gonna have to do the same thing if I want to do tension physics on here. And also, if you notice, every weapon that he holds, he does the same ADS. Of course, I want to make a state to when he's holding the bow, he has like a bow animation, you know. So that's all gonna be fixed. Ooh, I really like this chest piece right here, but unfortunately, it doesn't have anything on it yet. It's like a bladed melee set, to where when the enemy hits you, they bleed, and you can draw aggro to your because each class, like you got, if you like I'm gonna go to the sanctuary and show y'all in a second. Snipers. I also wanted to zoom on a sniper. I did put a zoom on a sniper, but it was kind of buggy. I'm like, I'm not gonna keep it. Alright, so here's how like some of the perks work, right? So here's what I wanted to do, cause you guys know how in in shooters or games with like gear, with rare, epic, and legendary gear, right? Of course, you have, everybody wants to like just go through and get rid of, like, this stuff becomes obsolete once you get this, right? Whenever you have a legendary weapon, this becomes obsolete. Same with the gear, because for this stuff, I'm gonna have this is legendary fear DPS shoes, right? But I'm gonna have rare and epic, okay? And the legendary version of these gives you rabbit's foot, where it gives you people, right? But the epic version of this, and the legendary one is gonna have like the highest stats as far as like, you know, the highest amount of armor or whatever, however I'm gonna calculate it, right? But the epic one is not gonna have the highest armor or whatever, but it's gonna have something more versatile that you can do rather than just run faster. So it'll have like an omnidirectional dodge roll, or you know, something like that. So it might be, okay, I don't want to get rid of it because it has an omnidirectional dodge roll, even though the stats are less than the legendary. I still want to keep it. You feel me? And for the rare, and me and Char, my moderator, was talking about this. He helped me out with this idea. The rare is gonna have even more versatility, even though that's gonna have the lowest stats. But it's gonna make you want to still keep it in your inventory. And if you do deconstruct it, it's going to have something like that you need. You know, so I'm trying to make the looter shooter genre a little bit more interesting when it comes to farming. Because I've played looter shooters for a long time and I know like the ins and outs of them, right? And I know what I want, and I'm sure a lot of other people want that. Because when you're farming, it's just okay, I'm trying to farm to get the best gear, I'm trying to farm, and you just pretty much disregard 90% of the stuff that you have farmed, right? You can relate. Movement in general looks good already. Thank you. And of course, man, like look at the movement. So like the movement, when you start, I wanted to have like a run start. It has a run start, but you know, I want to have a lean when they run. And then like when you crouch, I want to have more of like a smooth crouch. Just little stuff, you know. But if you play the game in general, it's pretty fun, right? This is a little shop that's in here. There's nothing in here. You know, of course, it's gonna be populated with other stuff. So yeah, these dudes. That shotgunner is just strong. He's too strong, man. Like he has too much health. First of all, and he deals too much damage. Come on, man. I wanted to make proximity run really strong. So can you imagine having a... Oh, snap! I did not know he was that close. And you know, this is crazy. This is genuinely fun to play. Even though I know the ins and outs. But that's how you know it's... Get away from me. This is fun to play, man. It's awesome. Are you still alive, dude? Are you serious? What's going on? Is it bugged? What? I dealt too much damage to him, man. So look, okay. Okay, so there's a... Wait, is this still shooting? Can you hear that? Look at this guy. Alright, let me reload because... he's clearly bugged. So this is what you call, there's a character, if you're familiar, there's a character named Desolate. And this is where he lives, right? And sometimes he's gonna be here, sometimes he's not. And for now, I just have him here all the time, but there's like some, you know, some sentimental stuff in here of his. He's a legendary enemy. If you kill him, there's a small % chance that he'll drop you his chest piece and his legendary or his exotic weapon. But he's very hard to kill, and he's roaming around in this area as well. And you can encounter him. randomly. He's not the only one. I have another enemy named 𝐥𝐢𝐤𝐤, and you see this area right here. This is like where, because of nuclear cataclysm, if you notice when you look on the map, there are different biomes, right? Ground zero. And when they launched the nuclear bomb, it caused these different zones to have like it changed the whole weather ecosystem. So like you'll have like a random snowfall in this area, or it's just like stuff just sporadically happens when it comes to weather. So this area right here, when you go here, you're gonna start to feel like a snow blizzard. And you can go to the dead zone. This is what you call the dead zone. And it gets more difficult when you get there, because there's a faction, like I said, called the 𝐥𝐤𝐬, and they're more relentless. Especially the melee enemies, they don't stop coming at you, right? When running, what about have him automatically holster your weapon, if not actively aiming it? Yeah, Miguel, that's what I want. Like, okay, so there are a lot of things that I want to happen, okay? Let me just go to the sanctuary real quick, because I want to talk to you about the gear and explain it to you a little bit first.
Now this part, I love. I'll call it our sanctuary. Seems like it's never been touched. Completely out of reach from the regime, or any other threats for that matter. This is where you can test out your weapons, 𝐦𝐤𝐤𝐿 abilities, and movement. Everything you need is in the armory.
Yo, what up, Ethan? Appreciate you stopping back through, bro. Okay. Hey, I thank everyone for showing up, man. This means a lot, to support me like this. So basically, this is how it works. Okay, you have 4 different class defaults. You have the Mend, you have Guardian, you have High Tech, and you have Fury. This represents DPS, Tech, Tank, and Healer. And I just wanted to name it different because everybody does DPS, Tank, Healer. But I didn't want to go too far off the wagon, I'm sure you understand what it means. But each one of these have a static ability called a stim pack, where only they could use that when they have that chest piece. So Healer has this. He can only use this. But I could put on Tank shoes with a Healer helmet and a DPS chest piece. This DPS chest piece, I really love this. Called counterbalance. So whatever amount of damage you receive is the amount of damage that you deal, extra damage that you deal to the enemy. But it's real risky because you can have like 10% health and be dealing 90% damage to the enemy, but you don't have any health. So it's good to be around a healer. But you see how I have this healer helmet, DPS chest piece, tech gloves, and a tank shoe. And I really think this is a cool way to do builds. You know what I mean? And if you want, you can have a full healer set. And if you have like a full healer set, that class bonus is accelerated heal over time, which is also applied to the kit out. So whatever you wear for the full gear, you get a bonus for doing it if you don't mix and match. So for the Guardian, if you wear all Guardian gear for that specific class, you get it. Shots taken to the head increase the overshield HP. And the overshield HP, that's the overshield. And you know what? This is funny because I wrote all this down. Look, let me tell you, this is crazy. I wrote all of this stuff down before I even code, did a single line of code, right? So I'm like, okay, I don't know how it's gonna happen, but I'm about to make it happen. I'm gonna make it happen eventually. So like when I started to make it happen, I'm like, dang, this is crazy how it's just coming into fruition, how the stuff that I wrote down and theorized, I didn't know that I was gonna be able to make it happen. And consequently, some of the stuff isn't, it changed, right? So when I said shots to the head, increase overshield HP, at first I thought that this was gonna be like have a certain amount of HP that people could shoot and then destroy it, right? But no, now it's just that it has a certain amount of time. So I'm gonna have to change that class bonus. You guys got any suggestions? Appreciate that, Foundation. Can you mix and match? Like, yeah, I appreciate that. I think I like the build diversity base too. I really, I really wish, because I had more abilities and perks on the other build that I lost, the other project that I lost, and I just didn't have time to recreate them, man. I really wish I could show you guys more of the abilities, but they're gonna be descriptions of everything, so even if you don't have it, you can read what it does. And Miguel, you were saying maybe I should put my weapon away, right? When I'm sprinting, right? I agree with you. I also wanted to put the weapon away when I pull out a grenade. Like this, see, I'm holding a grenade right now, right? Of course, I want to, and I wanted to have like weapon slots to where I have a weapon on my back, and have like switch between weapons. At the moment, I only have one primary weapon. I have to go to my inventory if I want to switch it. So there are some things that I want to, do in that regard. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, cool. Solo rides, how you doing, man? What about an animation? What do you mean? Option has to go with or without you. Yeah, Miguel, I didn't even play Breakpoint, man. I'm sorry. So, okay, here's another thing, right? So this area leads to the open world area, right? And I made this so when a nuclear bomb hit down here, Cypher, one of the characters, made it. He had an opportunity to then like make an underground area that the nuclear bomb like opened up the underground for them. So he decided to make like an underground secondary base of operations so that they can get in and out of the city, because the main goal of the city, or the main goal of this, is to liberate the city and topple the regime and get it back to where it used to be, right? Free the city. And this isn't only in this city, by the way. This government regime, or this oppressive regime, they share the technology with other governments. So I wanted to leave room for like DLCs and sequels for this game. So, you know, I don't want to spoil it for you, but this is not just predicated to this area alone. But I wanted. Here's another thing. When I was in here, there were things that I added in here where I added like I added like a place for people to live. It was like I opened up this area and it was like a living quarters for the rebels. This was like a gun range. I cleared all this out and I expanded that and made it a gun range. So there was a lot of things that I wanted to do with this. Once again, this wasn't a priority after the data was lost. But this is just an idea of like the secondary base of operations. If you know out in the wasteland, you need to go rearm or do whatever you need to do. Oh, an animation for activating the shield. There's an animation. It's subtle though. So okay. I had it for this, and I want to change this animation also, right? So this is the shockwave ability, and it happens pretty late, right? But this is a formidable chess piece, and basically, and this is what I wanted to do with this. I wanted to have it to where when the enemy hits you with critical hits, it builds up your shockwave meter, and the more they hit you, the more damage the shockwave does. At the moment, it deals like a flat 1,000 damage, right, to the enemy. Because this is one of the tank variants, and this was the original animation that I had for the impregnable shield ability. But if you look, he crosses his arms. It's real subtle. Hold on. See? That's what he does for that. The idea is for the gear, for those that want the looter shooter, feel they have the standard gear values and rarities. But they added an option to disable that and basically give it a more realistic feel. Oh, that's pretty cool. I don't know if I'm gonna do that or not. So I'm gonna head to the dead zone. Now, of course, we're gonna have like loading screens and cutscenes and animations and stuff like that. But this area is basically it's a snowy wasteland and it's always cold here. And so there's a character, his name is 𝐥𝐢𝐤𝐤. I don't know if you're familiar with him. And he's an ex-regime soldier who went insane. And you know, he had a psyche valve, whatever, by the regime. They deemed him like just insane or whatever. And so he ended up escaping and killing a psychiatrist and escaping to this area called the Dead Zone. And he's the one who established the 𝐥𝐤𝐬 faction. These guys right here. More aggressive. They always, you know, they're more relentless, strong. I don't even think I have any red bar of this type. Right? But in each of the hazard zones, I wanted to have it. I wanted to have it to where there's like one legendary enemy who roams that area, and they have some type of loot that you can get off and kill them. Right? And so these dudes just casually running by the marksman. Yeah, see, these are also some gloves. These are the reinforced gloves that go with this right here. This is almost a full set, right? So it's a tank. Just don't have the helmet. But Yeah, so Jason Himisu roams this area and he has like a chess piece and he has a weapon called cold-blooded. Any chance for vehicles? I thought about it. I thought about vehicles. I haven't decided yet. See. But the funny thing is about the weapon, the cold-blooded, is that whenever you shoot somebody with it, it slows you down and it heals you at the same time with every shot, or percentage. Which is pretty dope. And the funny thing is, I actually added that functionality for Jason. So if I could find him out here, right? If he shoots me, I'll slow down. I'll like slow down to a walk. And I'm gonna change that animation, of course. But I start walking, and even if I use like the impregnable ability, it doesn't shield you from like talent stacks or whatnot. It just shields you from damage. So it's like really hard. There he is, right there. He's up there actually. And I don't even have any long range weapon. He'll pretty much murder me if I try to engage. Hey, what's up, Daniel? Let's see if this guy gets. Up being stingy with the gear. I'll just show you what he does. You can see the weapon on it too. See, I'm walking now. Can't run while he's shooting me. Slows down. I don't even have the rabbit's foot shoes on either, and outrun him. Yep. Yo, what's going on, Rogue? Oh, thanks, Miguel. I wanted to put like yeah, like an ambient feel. You know, I'm gonna have this guy unaggro me. Okay, so of course I'm gonna have different areas. I don't want it to just be like a barren land. I'm gonna have different areas. Hey, what's up, Zen? How you doing? Were you able? Oh yeah. So look, if you playing a game or whatnot, you can go to controls and it'll have like resolution settings. You could adjust because this is very like graphic intensive, and you can put the resolution on low if you want, 720, so you can get a better performance. And I did not mean to do that, so we're gonna have to travel back. I'm doing pretty good, man. You know, I'm just trying to showcase my work to everybody. It's kind of I don't know, man. It's just like I'm open to criticism, and I just want to know what you guys think, man. You know, like I was saying earlier, I don't want to be naive. I don't want to think, oh yeah, because you know my view is totally objective. My view is totally subjective, and I mean I came into this having no expectations whatsoever. Because in game dev, man, you can't. Like, if you come in here thinking that you're about to, make a game, like, even if it looks good, you think that it looks good, you think that it's the best game, has all the best functionality. You could be working on something for like 3 years and go try and reveal it on Steam and then get no results. Get very little results. Like, I mean, like, laughable results. It can happen. And that has a lot to do with the fact that the Steam environment is so saturated. Everybody's making a game. And then you would have, like, okay, let's say somebody works tirelessly on a game. And they put so much into it and it just flops. Right? And then you have somebody come around and make Flappy Bird. Makes millions. Which like Lost Relic Games said, a capable game developer could have made that in an afternoon. So you're taking a big risk doing something like this. That's why it's like that's a passion right here. And this right here is a pleasure. I love this. I come to this because like I have the weather system that I have is like different biome, different weather conditions. I don't know where you're at, like just at the scene. And so this area, like this, you've seen this on my playtest, right? On the playtest, I made this base operation, basically, right? And it's not complete yet, but for this area, I wanted to have it where you don't know where it's at all the time, but instead, it's going to be in a random location every time, right? Because the loot is very lucrative here, and you have a chance to get like a lot of good loot. And I don't want you to be able, okay, I come into the desert, I gotta go east, and it's here. No, I want it to be at a random location every time. All right, let me get out of this storm. I didn't know I was drowning out. That's the problem. I don't know. Maybe I'll put volume on here. Sorry about that, guys. Sorry, buddy. No, give me the sniper or not. Yeah, that could be a better teabag if it was more of a smooth one. An ambush mechanic would be a nice touch, like guys coming out of the ground in the desert and guys coming through buildings. Yeah, I actually have plans for that, yo. I'm gonna have to take the sniper out. That's kind of annoying. I'm not really protected right here, am I? Hold on, let me just read these comments. Appreciate the kind words, and really do. Okay, so this is a good question. I'm glad you asked all these questions, Miguel, because it's making me remember some things that I would forget, right? Um. Okay, so I don't have any glove perks at the moment. Like if you see to the right, it says push 5 if you want to do one of the glove, but I don't have any glove perks. They were just lost. So I'm gonna have something like, okay, for the melee, of course, for the gloves that I have right now, it makes the enemy stagger, because you know how some melee in games in Gears of War, it staggers the enemy and it's really like real strong. But I wanted to make it so that it's a reason that you're wearing gloves. Like for the tank gloves, when you melee that enemy, it's gonna make them stagger. Or let's say for the DPS gloves, for the fierce gloves, it increases your melee's interval speed. Or for the epic version, it'll give you more options for melee. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. And then for the shoes, like the healer shoes, you guys are gonna like that, right? Because I'm gonna have a down mechanic, especially when the multiplayer gets introduced. Because you're not gonna right away die. Your teammate's gonna be able to revive you. But for the healer shoes, one of them, like the rescue chest piece that I have on right now, the shoes for this, you're gonna be able to get up on your own without somebody reviving you, and that's gonna be on a cooldown. You see how crazy the shooting mechanics are? Like I love the responsiveness of that. Ragdoll. I hope it works for you, Zen. Yeah, I'm not particularly fond of having a shotgun in this position. And I don't like how it's really loud for you guys, That's why I don't really feel like getting into big firefights. I didn't expect it to be this loud. I'm thinking like melee weapons for when you get rushed by enemies as opposite to shotgun. Like what were you saying? Like ambush mechanic would be perfect for this area right here, bro. Do you think it was just my GPU that was giving my computer issues that it did even in 720 video? Yeah, it might be the GPU because I mean, if you talk to Zen, I mean Zen is in the Discord. If you can message him, Zen Zero, he has the same name as he has here in Discord, and tell him how you were able to get it to work. But honestly, I I've done all I can do as far as like resolution. I don't know what else I can do more, like to bring the resolution down for people who it's not working for as much. But yeah, I just like when you asked me to put like a resolution setting, I'm like, okay, yeah, that would help, and then it was still wasn't helping. But for like other people, the game is running fine, you know. But it is like intensive on like the graphics. You can see you got procedurally generated environments, stuff like that. Whole weather system, you know, I got all these animations, so it is intense on your system. I'm gonna have also special ammo like incendiary. I'm gonna have like ionized radiation, like which is kind of like a poison. I'm gonna have liquid nitrogen rounds that were developed by 𝐥𝐤𝐬𝐷, which like slow you down. So I want to ask you guys, you spawn with a weapon? Yeah, you spawn with a weapon. You know, I could have had it to where you don't spawn with a weapon. If you don't, then there's like the first place that you start at, it has a weapon in the chest. So you immediately get a weapon, right? And the good thing about it is that anybody, like, I made it so that not everybody will give you a weapon. Like the red bar enemies, they don't drop anything. They don't drop any loot. Because I didn't want just loot dropping from everywhere. Like this guy used a red bar. And of course, so look, okay. There are a lot of ideas I have for the gear. Like, I can't remember everything off the top of my head about, because in total there are 12 chest armor pieces, right? And I'm gonna have a ladder climbing mechanic on here. And I can't remember every ability that I have for each chest, but there are some pretty cool ones, right? There are some pretty cool ones like that are also like for PvP as well. Like for the tech chest piece, he has something where he has like a taser, okay? And this is pretty fun. Y'all remember Siphon Filter back in the day? Where there was a taser and he could attack the enemy, and as long as you're holding down that taser, he will the enemy will be shocked, and you could just burn him to a crisp, and then he screamed the whole time. It was hilarious. So for the tech chest piece, he has like a taser ability to where he could shoot the enemy, and for as long as you're holding the trigger, he's getting shocked and he can't shoot. But the crazy thing about it is not OP, because you can't shoot either. So this is like a team mechanic thing, right? You keep somebody locked down, and it also does very little damage. It doesn't deal a lot of damage. It's like a utility ability, right? And then there's also like a, I forgot what exactly it's called, to where it's like a hack dart, right? So when you shoot an enemy, it causes your weapon to jam for a certain amount of time. So just imagine that in PvP, right? There's so many things that I want to do that just, and that's why you know I started out this journey by myself, and I'm still doing it by myself, right? I have a mentor and I have help and people to teach me code and to teach me certain things that I don't know, but overall, like, game dev is a lonely business, right? And nobody's really gonna help you at the end of the day, because you keep asking for help. People are gonna get tired of it. Like, dude, come on now. You know, I've experienced that, right? Where I would keep asking somebody, and I'll be like, man, how am I gonna be able to do this? You just gotta eventually figure it out. You know, you just have to figure it out eventually. So, one thing that I'm wondering is, do I wanna finish doing this alone. You know, like, I mean, I would love to see it to its end, and honestly, it would be like an amazing feat for me to do it on my own. Hold on, let me kill this guy. Where's the 𝐤𝐤𝐤𝐤 at? That's real cool, that scanner thing. I have no idea why he floats in the air like that. He got possessed. Can you build a base or maybe raid people's bases? Can you? Oh, I'm sorry. I see you wrote that twice. Thing is, I haven't implemented PvP yet in this, but the goal is to have PvP. That is the goal, actually. And I don't know when it comes to that, because you know you got different types of games. Like you have what's that Viking game? It's an indie game as well as real popular, where people can build bases. I forgot what it's called. Anyways, there are different types of games. You got survival games. You know, you have a certain genre and category of games. And I had to ask myself, okay, what's my target audience? What type of game that I want to make, right? And if I dive into like the base building aspect, then it completely changes the dynamics of what this game's target audience or what this game is in general, right? So I told myself I'm just gonna keep it to, okay, this is an RPG looter shooter. And the latest game that I played, or have been playing that I cover on this channel, is Division 2, and that's the game that I've covered for most of my YouTube career. And so before that, I played Gears of War and Skyrim and stuff like that. So my idea of what I want the game to be is based on things that I've played and things that have an impact on me. And there are certain things that I don't like that the Division does, which I would rather they do, that I'm gonna put in my game. You know what I'm saying? So for my next game, let me get back to what I was saying when I was talking about being solo, because I do want to finish this on my own. I do believe that I can finish this on my own. I'm just really tired, and I think that a large part of that is because of me just losing my stuff and then restarting and trying to get prepared for this and just being stressed out. It's just really, it can really break you down. That's not to say that I'm going to give up, because when I took a break the other day, it really reignited the flame of just like excitement. So, I mean, healthy breaks are good, and I think that is really essential to burnout. If you want to get burnt, if you're about to get burnt out, you need to take a break. That being said, I do want to finish this on my own, but the reason I'm doing this on my own is so that I can become like a reputable CEO when I go to make my next project. Because my next project, I want it to be like it's not gonna be a shooter. It's gonna be like a melee game, like in this, I don't know what era it's gonna be in, but it's gonna be with like swords and melee weapon, more of like a fantasy style, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. And so I want to do this solo because I want to be able to, when I do, because I'm going to create it, this game right here is already under the umbrella of 𝒉𝒆𝒍𝒑𝒔 Productions LLC. Everything is already copywritten, everything is protected. And so when I go to make my next game, I'm going to bring a team. I'm going to develop a team so that I can delegate, so I can have some, concept artists, I can have the animators. I'm not about to do all of this by myself again. It's just not gonna happen, man. It's too much of a headache. But it's such a monumental feat to have accomplished that This is my first game. Yes, it is. No, it's not. It's not called Rust, Resi. It's another one. It's an indie game, actually. But I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about. No, it's like a Viking game, right? Hey, what is full lot PvP? Explain that. What about romance options? Would be interesting. And is there something that Division could have added with Agent Kelso at some point? Yeah, yes, Valheim. That's what it is. Valheim. That's the game. And Valheim is like completely different from like, they have, it's like that whole, they make, this is what I was talking about, replay value, right? With games nowadays, people get really bored, right? Of course, I was talking about this earlier. Of course, I want my game to be engaging, like have a engaging an engaging like this dude not walking up on me. Come on, dude, no. Okay, like I was saying, I want my game to have an engaging story, of course, right? I want it to have an engaging end game and something that I want to go play that again. But there are certain things that make the game enjoyable overall, that make you keep coming back to it. And I'm gonna be honest, PvE most of the time PvE doesn't do that for you. I mean, it's rare for a PvE game to make you keep coming back to it. So excuse me, my daughter was there, but the real thing that makes people come back to the game is PvP. To have like an engaging PvP with unique modes, and also like I like modes like horde modes where you have increasingly powerful waves of enemies coming at you. I think that's really fun, and they give you unique rewards. And also like survival. I think survival on Division 2 was fun, even only in PvE, because of how hard the enemies were and how you basically had nothing to start out with. You had to kind of like craft, and it was just a really cool mode. So for this, I have many ideas for that, right? I have, let me just read some. That you're pouring this much stuff into the house, and so on. Yeah, I have many ideas about how I want to do this as far as like in game, right? So of course I'm gonna have an engage. Let me just explain to you how I'm gonna do the PvP mode. Alright, and it's gonna be like a PvE VP mode. Okay, that's one of the modes. And I wish I could show you guys this in the editor, because like this right here is the actual game that I loaded up. And I can show you, if you guys want me to, I can go and show you guys the actual editor and show you some things that I plan on doing. But the PvE, have you guys played any games called any MOBA games like League of Legends or Vainglory? If so, that's cool. If not, then a MOBA is basically like you have these abilities on cooldown, and you get to certain levels and you unlock them, and you just have to fight and take over the enemy's base one by one, like to ultimately destroy their crystal. And so in between, they have like turrets that you have to destroy, and you have like NPCs that come and fight you and stop you from doing what you're doing. In Vainglory, they have like this thing that comes in the middle of the match called like the Kraken or something like that, where if you destroy his armor or destroy his health, he fights for you. And so the funny thing is that people would like be fighting the Kraken, and then the dude on the other team would get the last hit and steal it, right? So my idea is to like mix like a MOBA style with like a team deathmatch, And so you have like NPCs roaming around, and they fight for each side. And then whoever kills the enemy NPC boss wins the match. In the midst of this, you're fighting other opponents, right? Using your abilities or whatever you want. And it's like a 4v4 or 5v5, and they got like a jungle area and like a lane area, but it's not really classed as that, right? It's just that's how it's designed. And so like in the jungle area, there's an abominant that's like chained up, and if you take that abominant's health, they'll fight for you. And then they can like the opponents can steal it also, just like they can steal it on Vainglory. And that's just like one of the PvP modes that I have in mind, PvPvE, for this game. No. I didn't say mobile. It's MOBA, like MOBA. It's a different. It's a certain like. It's a very like. If you look up League of Legends, it's a very sought after, you know, play style. Yeah, I mean, the Old Republic. Obviously, honestly, that's just the Republic games, like Knights of the Old Republic. Even though they don't have like PvP, they're just great games. Like, just in general, you know, with the fact that along with it, it's Star Wars. You know, so many people love Star Wars, and you know the fact that you could be a Jedi, and it's just a great game. So it doesn't really, honestly, it doesn't really need as much promotion to make it great, because it's already has a name. I don't know. I play the heck out of Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. I don't know about you guys. I didn't really get into the Old Republic though. Yeah, it's like Dota. So I want to do like a spin-off story, like, cause I want to do something like with these robots, cause you got this quadruped mech, and I have other robots like the quad, like not the quad, but the orbital that floats around. But I wanted to do something else and add more robots, and have like the regime have like a robots production facility called Regime Robotics. And this right here, he's like patrolling this bridge area for some reason. And out in the wasteland, there's like an abandoned robotics production facility, and there's this like still transmissions around the wasteland.
So, it looks like this squad is going rogue, and for some reason it feels like it needs to stand guard here under the bridge. But I've been doing some research about Regime Robotics, and I think this one came from an abandoned robotics production facility out in the wasteland. It's getting orders from
Listen, man.
You may want to check
So
that
co-op.
out if you're bold enough.
I had multiplayer semi working on my last project that got lost. You could actually load in to the same map. The only thing that wasn't on there was replication, and replication in game dev is when you see when I do this or something, right? When I do a dodge roll, your teammate will only see you like phasing from one area to another. They won't see the actual animation of the dodge roll, and that's because this is probably not replicated on, you know, the server. So what you have to do when you do PvP or co-op or whatever, multiplayer in any game, it's really a headache, honestly, because you have to replicate everything, which is why people suggest that you do replication as you develop. If you're gonna do like a co-op or multiplayer game, you do it from the start so that you won't have to go ahead and replicate everything that you've already coded, right? So I already had like kind of co-op working on my other build or my other project that got lost. But that's definitely the goal, man, to be multiplayer and co-op. That's definitely the goal. Egyptian theme, what do you mean? Is that what it looks like to you? Does anybody have any criticism for me? I mean, we could do like a Q&A session, man. I mean, I want you guys to ask me all the questions and, you know, give me some, you know, tell me what you think is bad about this. Tell me what you think is good about it. Give me everything, the good, the bad, the ugly, man. And tell me what you want to see, or any weapons you want to see, or any abilities, anything you want to know about besides what you've already seen. Okay, why is... See, there's something blocking him. I don't know what was blocking him. Your team deathmatch nomination could be similar to how mobile strategy games work. Here, 5v5 mode. That's what 3D and first and third person. Zoric, no matter what. Hey, what's going on, Zoric? I think Link. Oh, hey, that's what's up. Appreciate you stopping in here, man. I love the weather system in here. I just absolutely love it. How it just randomly does that. Just so great for immersion. So yeah, I'm gonna have the NPC fight each other. I'm gonna, you know, of course, class, because that's handled on the behavior tree, right? And what target they attack. So first I have to like classify. This is how it's gonna work, right? I'm probably gonna make like an interface. An interface is where whatever has that interface, and whenever you reference that interface, you could attach code to it so that it could, you know, do something based on it, right? So if I class certain factions as this faction, which will be the interface, then, you know, on the behavior tree or something, have it attack. If that, you know, other faction has that different interface or whatever, have them attack that, then they'll just naturally do that. And that's what I love about, you know, blueprinting system and the coding in Unreal Engine. Whenever you like put like together some code, it just works. Like in the whole parent and child class system that they have is like, it's genius. You know, like, okay, you see this enemy right here, right? This enemy is a child of the Collector Elite. The Collector Elite is the one with the yellow bar. And actually every single enemy that I have, even the ranged enemies, they inherit from that collector parent. So you can just make a child blueprint of that parent, which means that, okay, let's say I have a melee character, right? Obviously he can't shoot. So what I have to do, I create a child blueprint of that melee character, and then add like a line trace for that child if I want to make him a ranged enemy, and then give him a weapon and like give him a target, like, you know, just attach the code for somebody shooting, and then, you know, increase his range, because right now the collector and the melee enemies, their range is like really short. They attack you when they're like within a certain amount of meters or centimeters, and then I could decrease the range for the snipers. Like you saw, the snipers, they shoot from a very far distance. So I just love the inherent system they have for the Unreal Engine. It just makes things a lot cleaner and more smooth, because now when I have one enemy, I have them all. So like, okay, when I made like let's say that yellow bar shotgunner that you always see, I created 𝐥𝐤𝐤𝐞, which is a legendary enemy from him. And 𝐥𝐤𝐤𝐞, he has a whole different health, because I have a health bar system in here too. Like if you look at the health bar, I could change whatever health bar. I could put the different names. See, he has an elite, frame around it. I could, you could tell he's something different, right? You don't know how much health he has, do you? Yeah. So this guy, he even inherited from. He's a child of the collector. So that's what I love about it, and that's why it gives me some like solace to the fact that I'm doing this by myself, that I can do things like that so easily. See, this guy's apparent to every single enemy that's in the game. And you said, do I want the enemies to attack each other? They already deal. Like if they get in their path, he can kill the collector. If he hits them. All I gotta do is add the functionality, Anybody could damage anybody. And it's pretty cool because yeah, me too. I just lost my train of thought. Oh yeah. Going back to, do I want the enemies to attack each other? Of course. Because I remember I used to play Fallout, right? Fallout 4, I think it was. I can't remember exactly. This is when they made the 𝐤𝐤𝐤𝐿 start to look like dinosaurs. And they just looked like they were on crack, like crazy. And I remember this gave me kind of an idea of the Abominant. The 𝐤𝐤𝐤𝐿 was what originated the idea of the Abominant. Because when I first saw an Abominant in Fallout, I thought that I could just pull out use my VATS and just destroy him with that easily. How VATS was just OP in Fallout. But I hit him with the VATS and he barely took any damage, and he started running at me and he just destroyed me. I was like, yo, what kind of enemy is this, right? So I never forgot about the 𝐤𝐤𝐤𝐿 after that. And then in Fallout 4, they made like this. You would run around in certain areas, and they would have like abominations. Like they had like some giant mosquito, or they had like some crab. They had different enemies, and the funny thing is, what I loved about it, I would make those two enemies fight each other, and then I'll just reap the benefits of the results. So I would love to do something like that. But yeah, let me read some of these comments. Are you gonna put like a survival car in the game so you can drive as well? So look, okay, driving is kind of I don't know exactly how I want to do that, because you got the Division, you got Fallout, you got Skyrim. The only game I know about that has like a traversal system is Skyrim, where you can get on the horse, right? Fallout and what is it? Division don't have driving. But I mean, that's not to say that I can't have driving in my game, because you see, I'm humping it all the way across, right? And it would be kind of nice. And this asset that I have, you see these buildings right here. This is what's cool about these buildings in this city, right? I haven't populated any of this. You guys asked if I can have like full interiors in here, which I can have full interiors. This right here, this building, this building is a blueprint. So which means, so when I pull this building out, on the details panel in the Unreal Engine, it has the option for the amount of floors. It has the option for the amount of the width of the building. So I can make this one floor, right? And then with the interior, I could make it like construct stairs, or I could make it have pillars. You see, this building has no floors. If I go to the blueprint, I can make every single one of these floors have stairs. I could populate this lobby with random furniture. I can do all of that, right? But I have no environmental storytelling in here. So, and that's the thing that bothers me about big open world games. People do things. They have all these places you can go, but nothing to do. And I really do not want to do that. I do not plan on doing that at all. I want to make it engaging. Whatever you do in the game, I want to make it engaging. This guy is still chasing me. And you know, okay. He's very easy to dodge. And for some reason, when it comes to the melee, like the NPCs who shoot me, they have no problem dealing damage to me. But you see how now he dealt that damage to me, but before he dealt no damage to me. It's just weird. Like, some things I need to figure out. But as I was saying, this is a blueprint. Every single one of these buildings are blueprints. And like, okay, so if I go over here, alright, he's gonna kill me. Let me just get back to my train of thought, okay? Because I was talking about the pack, and with this pack, whatever I bought, and it's funny because you can't like, what I learned is that I bought a lot of assets, and you know, I designed this whole area by myself, but you know, there's like, if you have like an asset, like this is the post-apocalyptic asset that came with like certain buildings, and it came with like cars, and one thing it came with is a drivable vehicle. So I didn't put it in here, but I could put it in here and have a drivable vehicle in here, right? And I thought about it, and you know, that's just something that I'm gonna have to decide based on how I go forward with this project. I mean, do you guys think I should have driving vehicles in here? Let me know. But what I was saying is, like, you see that building right there? That building, I kind of made like a hotel, right? I could make that building 100 feet tall. But that's actually 3 buildings I just slid together. So you could just be unique with how you do it, and this is why there's like a lot of variations of buildings, which I like. And I think one of the reasons why there, like, certain people don't have like vehicles in some of their games is because, you know, there's fast traveling. You can get to one place from one place to another without any problems just by fast traveling. And one thing, you know, I'm a real big fan of Star Wars. You know, that game, that showcase that they just showed, the Star Wars game. What is it? Outlaws, right? I really wish that you can create your own character instead of, you know, just start off with a pre-made character. But anyway, this right here is another building that I put, like, I made these buildings skinny, and this one's skinny, right? You see this design right here? That's the same building as that, right? I just made that more wide. And this is just something I did so I can make this building. So I wanted to put, like, here in this courtyard area, like a statue, and like, there's a lot of things I want to do with this city. Obviously, this looks like kind of like a freeway area that's been broken down. But yeah. Okay, maybe some limited area of transportation system. Maybe not in all areas. Okay, yeah, that's actually a good idea. Like, yeah, that is actually a good idea. Not everywhere, but just certain places. Egyptian theme for the melee game. As for things I want to see, are you possibly gonna add guns that have shields on them too? Oh, that's a good question, yo. All right, okay. So I have this chest piece. I don't have it on me. With farming, you know, it's funny because if you've played this game and you farm, you start to see like I have all the chess pieces in the game that you could just at least put on to see how it looks and read its description. But like, okay, Division has like the shields you could equip, right, when you shoot, right? And that became like real cheesy in PvP. Obviously, the shield meta, of course, they had to really nerf it. But one of my chess pieces, it's called precision, is that no, it's actually called control. He's actually wearing it, right? This guy, he's actually wearing a control set. The helmet, control chess piece, not the boots. The control gloves, right? So when you ADS, because there are 3 different variants of each class. So you have the Guardian, which is tank. There are 3 versions of that tank. You have the DPS version of the tank, you have the defense version of the tank, and the utility. This is a utility version of the tank class. So you still have the stem adrenaline stim pack, but you don't have the overshield. You have this, right? You have that shockwave. But when you have the Guardian, the formidable, then you have more defensive version of it, right? So there are 3 different versions of each class chess piece. So the DPS version is the one I showed you back at the Sanctuary, where it had counterbalance, where the more that, like, you deal the amount of damage that you take. That's, I don't know anything that's more DPS than that, right? So you could possibly do like 90% damage if you have like 10% health. Okay, so the defense version of the DPS class is control, which means that when you ADS, and I had this in my other project, which is really getting for me, man. I had this already. I already had this. It was working. But when you ADS, there's like because you know how this shield right here, right? And I'm gonna tone down that resolution because that's pretty crazy when it's nighttime. It looks beautiful in certain areas, but that's just too much, right? At night. But when it's kind of like this, the shield, but when you ADS, you're automatically gonna have like a shield that only covers the upper body, your upper body, and your head. So it's gonna be like a shield that populates around your weapon area and around your upper half of the body, but you're still susceptible to shots to the legs, and when you reload, you still don't have that shield up. Because you know, on Division and certain games, while you're reloading, when you have that shield up, you still have the shield up. But no, when you reload, when you have the control ability, then the shield goes down. So I'm trying to make it balanced and not OP for certain talents, you know, and abilities. And also, it gives you incentive to shoot them in the kneecaps, because this is another. So the critical areas, I wanted to make it very like, I'm kind of like, I don't want to talk your ear off before I read a comment. Appreciate it, Maverick. Okay, I have some ideas for this building. You have a bike, and you gather bike parts. Okay. Like, oh, see, look, putting a gas element, that's a whole, see, that's what I'm saying, that gas, and, you know, you're going into the realm of, like, survival, you know, games where you craft, like, that's a completely different game. I can't conflate or mix, like, looter shooter with survival. Like, I mean, you can push the needle of survival a little bit. They did it on Division, which that's why survival is such a great mode. But it was like a genius idea, right? And I'm gonna tell you about this mode that I have called Liberation in a minute here, and it's like similar to survival but with my own flavor, right? But hold on, it adds more excitement to the game as you find it. Gather parts for the bike and make sure the bike runs. That would be amazing. I don't know. I guess I'll think on it, right? Yes.
Now this part, I
There's so much I've learned,
I
man.
called our
It's crazy.
sanctuary. Seems like it's never been touched. Completely out of reach from the regime or any other threats for that matter. This is where you can test out your weapons, ultra-tech abilities, and movement. Everything you need is in the armory.
Oh, there's another thing for the rocket launcher. Why didn't I wish I had of I wish I had through all of the armor here so you could at least see how it looks on my character. But this right here is one of the high-tech chest pieces. This is one of the, this is like how it goes. Like that. I don't have the glove, but the gloves for this is like one left glove. And this is gonna work like the entropic scanner, but it's gonna do something different. It's written down, I can't remember exactly what it does. Appreciate that, Zen. I'm trying my best, man. You know, it's crazy. This is a long journey, and I really, you know, I didn't really know how it was gonna look as I would evolve through all of this. I didn't really know how it was gonna turn out, where I was gonna be right now. But I'm really impressed with where I'm at now. And for those of you who know me, I'm a content creator. Also, I make YouTube videos. And I took like 40 days, like almost 40 days off uploading videos. And it's crazy because every every update for that game, for the Division 2, I would always have like 3 builds that would come in succession for 3 days in a row. With all the new gear and all the new exotics, and just go crazy. But I really had to take a step back because I was at a point where I was developing, and I'm like, man, there's no way I could do both right now. I can't. So I had to stop, and I had to just focus on my game dev only. But that didn't mean I abandoned my YouTube. I'm just trying to navigate through doing what I want to do. That's best for me, and I still really enjoy uploading videos. I really do. When I think that after this, I'm glad that I'm doing the Steam Next Festival now. I'm glad it's here now because I was actually waiting for this moment. I was waiting for it to get here and be finished with it so that I could get back to normal. It's like everything's been on an accelerated pace, and I haven't really been able to just be balanced. Especially when I lost my stuff, I had to like go on overtime. My wife, man, I was like painstakingly neglecting them, but not on purpose. You know what I'm saying? And I just do not want them to feel that way. This rocket launcher, by the way, it doesn't have an explosion effect when I hit them, which I was trying to do. I don't know why it's not, but I like the sound effect. But that's gonna be there. I ain't worried about it. There's so many things that I know I want in the game that I know I'm gonna put in there, and I'm not worried about it. Rock stupid. Sorry, buddy. Oh yeah, I wanted to show you like how cool it looks when the arrows are just in the body. Let me show you that. Let's start running. Almost had me, didn't you, buddy? And by the way, that kit out ability is gonna be able to, like, if you like throw it at your teammate, you could stick it on them like a sticky grenade, but it'll heal them. And if you stick it on them, it'll be more of a potent heal. I'm just trying to like imagine all these abilities and stuff in PvP, man. That's gonna be crazy. Because I really think that they balance each other out, man. With everything that you can do. You watched all my videos in, that's what's up, man. That's what I'm talking about. You know, when I make my videos, I make them with the intention of just like, so what if just one of them just takes off, you know? I make them with the intention of that everybody's gonna watch them. You see the arrows in their body, I love that. And you know, if you notice, there's no ammo system on here. There is an ammo system, but I don't have it calculated. Like, it's in the background. Like, if you shoot like 6 arrows, you're gonna run out of arrows. So the code is there to like implement an ammo system, but I haven't implemented it yet. Okay, Maverick. The goal is to have it. Goal is to have it done by the end of the year, and it's totally possible because what I have now, what I've done now, I've laid the foundation to just like work on missions and stuff. Like, I can casually, I'm not gonna say casually, but I can like, there's no system. Like, I have the movement done. I have all of the base mechanics. Like, you know how you play in sports, they'd be like, okay, fundamentals. What are your fundamentals, right? You gotta work on your fundamentals before you do everything else. That's just the fundamentals. Defense, offense, everything. So I would say that I have most of the fundamentals done, which is a foundation to build off of in order to eventually complete this game. Like, for the chess piece abilities, I just need to add those. I don't have to implement, like, for example, the system of the abilities, right? I don't have to add it. Like, I had to create a system in order to start making these abilities and perks, right? It's like sort of similar to what I was talking about earlier when I said the collector elite is the parent of all of the other enemies. It goes the same with weapon systems and everything that you have. Like, these weapon systems I have, there's one parent, and all of the other weapons inherit from that class as its children. And that's the same with the abilities and the perks. So like, I have one base ability that's called the ability base, and I just make a child blueprint from that, and then I start to hold on a second, y'all. I make a child blueprint from that, and then I try to create abilities from that, and they're all children of that one. So the foundation is laid already, you know what I'm saying? Okay. Yeah, that would be cool. All right. So the stream is gonna be ending at 9 o'clock. I didn't know how long I was gonna be. So let me ask y'all a question. The indie game, the whole indie game thing in general. Like, you don't spend as much money on indie games than you do AAA games. That's for sure. Like, it's rare that you'll find an indie game that's like $60. Right. So like, from what you've seen or whatever, like from what I have so far. 2 questions. Would you purchase this game, and how much would you buy it for? Hey, what's good, Seth? How you doing? Straight in the head, man. He should have been dead before that. Oh, you just seen the past 30 minutes? Oh, okay. Yeah, there's so much I went over in that time. On the catfish, my son came down here and raided my stream. You go back. Hey, appreciate that, Seth. You go upstairs for a second. I'm almost on, okay? Okay, I'll share with you after. Alright? Go back upstairs. I'll be up here in a minute. Is this background? Okay, this is what I was talking about, these gloves. Where it's only one of them. Yeah, that's the gloves for the reconnaissance chest piece. $30 but all looter shooters are worth $460 to me because there's so much to do. Yeah, and I wanna make it really engaging. And you know what one of the fatal errors that game developers make, right, when they make games is charging too much. Like they'll charge like $60, man, or $50 and it doesn't sell. Right? And I don't want to make that error. I don't want to make that mistake. By the way, the reason why he's not responding to the damage from the arrow is because the arrow is like a physics-based thing where the actual arrow travels, right? So I didn't report a damage event for this bow and arrow, but for the weapons like the AR and the pistol and all the weapons, I had to report a damage event. So now that they know when I shoot them, they know where the damage is coming from. So that's one of the reasons why they're just not responding to the damage from the arrow. Okay, appreciate the feedback about how much I should charge for this. Also depends on how much you want for DLC. Okay. And, you know, that's also a question to answer when honestly towards the end. I can't really answer that question right now. Let me go ahead and go to that base. I really like that base. I didn't really show you the interior. I'm gonna take them all out with this bow. This does some crazy damage. And for the damage, I also wanted to do like variable damage, like within a range of such and such. Like this does 900 damage. Sometimes, for whatever reason, they get hit with like 2 bows or 3 bows at one time. Maybe that has something to do with the animation. Or, I don't know, but it's kind of broken. See, she got hit with two of them at that moment. And that was just ooh, I got a sniper? Oh man. Y'all done. That's what I love about looter shooters, man. You can get something really bad or really good. I love the sniper on this game. Okay, so here's another thing. I think let me get through the storm and then we'll talk because they were saying the storm is pretty loud. Would be cool to have like turrets guarding this area too, like up in the hills. Oh, oh. I need, yeah, I need more range on that proximity mine. More radius. Okay, say could have some pillboxes hidden to the wind. Oh, wait. Let me see. Pillboxes. What are those? Like they pop out and shoot? Is that what you mean? But yeah. To answer your question about the rebel, he stays. Okay, so that has to do with the nav mesh. Now I've had some problems with. I don't know if you guys know what the nav mesh is, right? Okay, nav mesh is what you call short for navigation mesh, right? And this area, this whole area, like if I was in the editor and if I push P, then it would be illuminated with green because I filled this whole area up with a navigation mesh. And the navigation mesh is so that NPCs could walk. So if I didn't have the nav mesh, they wouldn't be able to walk through this environment. They're just standing still. And the funny thing is like with nav meshes, if you want like NPCs to be congregated in just one area, like let's say I just wanted them out here, I would only put like a box of a nav mesh around this area only, and they won't go through that way because there's no nav mesh there. If I wanted them to go to that way, I would put like, I would fill it up, or I would put another nav mesh and like put like a nav mesh, what is it called, where you could connect the two nav meshes and they can still traverse through it. The point of the story is that the nav meshes are really funny when it comes to NPCs and dealing with big areas. So like for the first open world area, I put it around the whole area, but I don't know, it's like it's weird. Some areas the rebel co-op rebel, you know, your teammate doesn't run there for whatever reason. And the way to fix that is to put like a navigation query instead, so that you can like put a nav mesh in the navigation query. You will put these like little points of interest down to have the NPC travel a certain area all the time, just how you want a path. And then, you know, I didn't implement that yet. That's just something that would have been too much time to implement. I just couldn't do that. Oh man. Why am I stopping when I'm throwing it? It's supposed to be upper body only. It only has that with the arrow, because the arrow is like physics based. The way that I have the weapon set up is what you call a line trace. So it sends out a trace, right? And whatever that trace hits, you can do something with it. So you can either heal or you can deal damage. So for the for the weapons, it's like a bullet trace system. So it's like pretty much instant, right? Like a light. Well, I got a shotty and AR. But I like how, I like how it is that way, I think for bow and arrow, it should be like that, right? It should be bullet drop. Uh-oh. And look at this. This is right here. See that? It's an invisible collision. You see how the bullets are hitting the air? There's like a trigger volume here, right? That you can't see. I haven't figured out how to fix that. And those bullets are getting kind of annoying. He slows me down when he shoots me. I can't do nothing except for put that on there. Germans on D-Day were in pillbox bunkers, firing down on Allied forces. Machine gun, other. Yeah, that that actually sounds like a good idea. I got 29 minutes left. Guess we could just have casual conversation about what, I hope I was a little bit entertaining in this stream, at least. I was able to let you guys know what I'm working with, what I'm doing. Oh, there goes a control helmet. Oh. See, that's what happens when you... There's the control helmet, I got it. Which I can do nothing with. So, okay, you remember how I said the DPS version of the, or the defense version of DPS is the control? Well, the helmet for the control, the perk is that, when the enemy shoots you in the head, a percentage of those bullets ricochet back at the enemy. I think that's pretty dope. I don't know where I went there. All right, Maverick. Hey, thanks for showing up, man.
Not to go by himself, but you know how he is, ambitious and brave.
Hey, I got a question. Anybody here from I should have asked this before because I wanted to know like what you guys were from the Steam Next Festival. Like if you found out about my stream for visiting my events channel, were you able to find, or you just like from the division? Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Hold on, forgot about that. So this is where everything, all the magic happens. This is my project. This is where I'm building it at. These are my assets that I have. I don't use them all, but you know, a lot of them are free, and some of them are bought. You know, once you get it to work, once you get it to work how you, once you get it how you want it, I know it's gonna be fire. But I'm liking it so far. Appreciate that. Said, hey, said, do you know? Are you from Steam Next Festival? Did you hear about? How'd you hear about this stream? Or you just saw it on YouTube? Yeah, it takes a lot, like much longer to load the editor because it has to compile everything. So like whenever you package a game, when that like package a game is like the equivalent of rendering a video from Sony Vegas or Premiere Pro. It's like putting everything together and making it into one video or one game, and that's what packaging process does for Unreal Engine. And the reason why it takes longer to load stuff like this is because there's no reason to implement like the services they have for packaging a game. Like they have so many things that happen behind the scenes that are that relate to like performance. You know what I'm saying? Like where there's less lag or where you know the loading times are a lot less. That's only important when you package a game. But when you're like making a game, oh this is Sid. This is Sid. Oh, passion over vices, bro. What the? I'm tripping, man. Yeah, what's good, man? Yeah, you finally get to see what you know what it's all about. Now, this is everything that goes into. Now, look, remember we were talking when we was talking at the dinner. See, look, this is crazy, man. This is all the stuff that you see, and this is what I was talking about with the nav mesh, right? This is the editor. If I push P, you're gonna see all of that green is where the NPC can walk, and I could adjust it and put it wherever I want to, right? And I like this because look, let me show you how the blueprints work, and this is pretty cool, right? This is what I was talking about. Take this P off. And I can position all the enemies where I want them to be because now, see, this is why I said it works seamlessly. Every enemy, this is all, this is my game right here. So if I go to the NPC AI, this right here is the parent, right? Parent class, the collector parent, and every enemy inherits from that. They're all children of him. These are all the enemies in the game. Remember the gladiator like character I drew for you. Have you ever ideas? No, honestly, I didn't, man. So check this out. So if I click on this building right here, See how it says floor mount? Let's make that 3. Right away. You can change the floor mount. Now go back to 15. If I wanted, I can make it 50 floors. You got a skyscraper. That's the beauty of this, right? Now you see this is Regime City, and let me show you how it looks. I'm, I'm gonna go into let me go into the out there, right there where I was telling you about the wasteland. Yeah, it is pretty crazy, bro. All of this stuff was empty. Right? It only had like 3 folders, right? Before when I started. So somebody was asking about how the forest is gonna be, right? I wanted to give you an idea of how I wanted to do it. It was gonna be how they said how dense is it gonna be or whatnot. I want it to be explorable. You know what I'm saying? I want you to be able to. And anytime you can just play and then go into the editor, you know. And you see the resolution on this is way less, right? Like you see how there's basically no detail in the ground, right? But here, if I put in this little piece of code or whatever, it'll change the immediately. It's gonna change the resolution. So check this out. I'm just giving y'all a little glimpse into the game dev. It's like I'm just rendering the texture pool size to make it higher so that the engine can take more. So I'm putting it at like 50,000. When I hit that, boom. You see how the detail is just there. But it makes no sense to edit in this high of a resolution. You know what I'm saying? You just do that when everything is done. But this I love this forest area. It's really nice, right? Oh yeah. I'm gonna start streaming my game dev stuff eventually when it's more relaxed and when there's not the pressure of Steam next and me to get this done and that done. You know, the development process is takes a while, man. It's not something that happens overnight, right? Sid, you want to see the code in there? Like what? Hold on, let me show you. Yeah, and I'm pretty much just wrapping up the stream. This is why I'm showing you guys this. So if I go to the third person character, this is a third person character. I go to the event graph. This is where everything lives for everything that I do in the game. You have these different systems. So this is when I fire the bullet, you know, you gotta set the trigger. You have to set the trigger state to true when I'm firing and set it to false when I'm not firing. And you have to get the equipped weapon that you're using, and that's what you're setting. And then the reload. If I didn't want to have an animation for the reload, I would just take this off, and he won't have an animation. He'll just reload, set reload state. Right. This is for picking up loot, and this is crazy because you know when you see something, you go within the volume of it. You hit F to pick it up, but you have to have like an interface where you know anything that's loot will be picked up with F because it's attached to that interface, which I was talking about earlier. Yeah, but let me just show you one more area that Yeah, so this is crazy, right? There's this guy named Joe Garth, and he has amazing landscapes, and he designed like the ability to do this, right? So you see all these little mountains right here, these little white mountains. I could adjust this exactly how I want to and change this, change the size, change the position, and it'll like procedurally update, and I can make whatever path I want with this. I just think that is genius how he did that, you know. And you know this right here looks like it's not really that big, right? It doesn't look like it's that big, but watch when I drop my character in here, how massive this area is. It's crazy, right? So when you go out into the wasteland, you're gonna, have something similar to an area like this. And then I want to have like an old abandoned refinery area. I've already written down a raid. It's called, hey Zapter, what's up? Um, this is the editor. This is the editor for my game called Identity Rebels. I don't know if you were here, but I'm just pretty much wrapping up the stream. If there's any questions you have about it, if there's anything you want to see, I could show you. But this is basically a post-apocalyptic setting. That's where the game is set. Semi-futuristic, where an oppressive regime is, taking over society with oppression and violence, and you know they've done it with the by acquiring a revolutionary armament called Ultra Tech that uses a certain type of technology that can only allow them to take over if they had it. You know what I'm saying? And so we have access to some of that stuff with the gear and stuff that we have, different builds that you can make. Kind of interesting making AAA type of games made easier without a team. You think it's made easier without a team? Hey, I have questions after. How did you hear? How did you find out about this stream? I'm just curious to know. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. For sure, it's a lot of easier. It's a lot of stuff easier with UE5, man. I'm not gonna say easy, but it's easier. you know. So I want to show you guys this city, that the regime city, and I don't know exactly how I'm gonna do regime city because this is a little bit outlandish for a city. I don't want it to be too futuristic, um, because this has. I could take out the flying buildings. I mean the flying vehicles and stuff. I don't want to have none of that. But what do you guys think about this city right here? Because when you do futuristic type games, I think people like to have something they can relate to. In a futuristic game, people can't really relate to it because there are no buildings like this now that you see in real life. But people can relate to like apocalypse because they've seen buildings like that, and for it to be destroyed and stuff. What do you guys think about something like this for Regime City? This is where and let me just show you how it is. This is how I put enemies in the map, right? Like I said, I gotta get a nav mesh. You pull it into the level. You make it the size you want it. Whatever enemy you want to populate. hit P, and that's how you know that they're gonna be on there, right? Let me just put the quad on here. How would you go about making caves and underground areas? Okay, so there are two ways you can do caves and underground areas. I could either have it to where I build an underground area literally under the map, or just travel to that area. So let me show you what I'm talking about. I did kind of like this on the open world area because it's easy. Like if you saw when I was playing the game, I would like open my map up and I would travel to different areas on the map. That's the fast traveling system, and I could do that where, let's say I see like a drain or like an underground entrance, right? I could put like a travel gate, like what I have here. You see that box right there? That box is what you call a travel gate. So there's nothing in this cave right here. I just made a hole in the landscape. But you can't go in here because if you hit this travel gate, it's gonna take you to another map. So I could either have built a whole area in here, right, within the map, for an underground pathway or whatnot, like I kind of did. So this is what I did right here. Or I could just put a travel gate and it'll lead me to. I'm gonna show you what it is. See, this is what this is that cave. So it's like kind of like you're making people believe that's what it was. Is it? You know what I'm saying? So like, okay, that's what happens when you go somewhere and you get like a loading screen. It's traveling to another map. But outside here, that's not what it is. That level is somewhere else. This all that is, that cave is just its own level. And this is something I had no idea about in game development, right? But they made a whole new world in here, right? But the developer's not gonna let you travel out here. They're gonna have blocking volumes so you can't run out, you know. They control where they want you to go. So you think that out here is that place where you just saw, but it's not. It's pretty crazy. And here's Desolate. This is where he lives. I designed this chest piece right here and this weapon. And I say he has like a sentimental side right here. He has a little son that he lost, a little drone toy that he played with, you know, guitar. So he, even though he's like a legendary enemy, you know, he has like a little soft side. Okay, you have concept art for this game's world? Yes, I do. You mean like okay, the only concept art that I have is the map. So let me get out of this edit. Let me show you what I got so far. Congratulations on making it next fest. Awesome work, very inspirational. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I really do. All right, so you see this? This is the map right here. And so like, okay, I've done a lot of concept art for my game in general. Like if I go to my Discord, Where is it at? Okay, so if I go to this concept art, you see, some of you guys saw 𝐤𝐤𝐤𝐬, right? That legendary enemy. This is the concept art I did for him. I drew him, you know, and I drew all of these characters that I wanted to be in all my chess pieces. And this is the collector enemy that you see running around trying to hit you with a knife. And these took like hours, and then it was compressed down to like minutes. This is 𝐸𝐵𝒍𝒑𝒔. You haven't seen him yet. But I designed this open world area map too. Also, you know, this is the proximity mines that you see me using. Is sci-fi is what you like when making this game? Well, sci-fi, it has a sci-fi element to it. You know, I want it to be, you know, grounded in realism for the most part. To have like a sci-fi element. I like sci-fi a little bit. And yeah, so yeah, if you guys want to join this Discord right here, you can. You know, it has a pretty cool community. You see, you know, some of the lore. And this is what I was in the game feedback section was talking. This is 𝐸𝐴𝐺𝐵 right here. This is one of the. This is the cold-hearted weapon I did in Blender. That 𝐤𝐤𝐤𝐬 was using. This is the weapon he was using to slow me down, right? So chilled enemies are slow for 2 seconds and take 10% more damage. Each shot landed on chilled enemies heals you 5%. That's what he was doing to me. And you have a chance to get that weapon if you kill him, like a 1% drop rate, or maybe, right? This is also what 𝐸𝐵𝒍𝒑𝒔 was using, right? And this is what I made all these in Blender. You know, I made all my armor in exotic weapons, and this is called Buck and Blaze. It's an assault rifle shotgun hybrid, and it has 2 fire modes, right? So when shooting an enemy with a shotgun, a percentage of incendiary rounds are loaded into the assault rifle. And when you switch to fire modes, enemies shot with the ammo are set on fire. This is 𝐤𝐤𝐤𝐬's chess piece. This is exotic chess piece that you can get if you kill him. Oh, I'm sitting here talking. You guys can't even see it. Wow. Wow, that's crazy. I was just talking the whole time. Okay, thanks for telling me that, Zen. I was just sounding like an idiot. What did you have the most fun designing in your game? You know what, man? It was honestly, there have been stages of fun that I've had. Everything that I've done was exciting to start. Everything that I did was exciting when I started it. But like when I started drawing my characters, I was like, yo, this is crazy. And I started theory crafting how I was gonna be in the game. I was imagining getting here to this point where I'm actually using this stuff. How it will be in the game. And you know what? I'm imagining now how it's gonna be in PvP, man, because you know I love PvP. And I hate a bad PvP game. I hate it. And I'm gonna be honest, man, like the Division 2 PvP is like it's unbalanced and it's been unbalanced forever. That's why I stopped playing it for so long. Because like people get melted in a second no matter what armor you have on. There's no tanks, there's no like I want because you know this for having this chess piece, the Guardian, I didn't implement this yet, but Guardian is supposed to have an overshield like above his health so that his health before his health is touched, his armor is supposed to be touched. And his armor has to be, you know, taken down. And that's what I mean. That's what I meant. When you have a full set of Guardian armor on, the overshield HP is increased. So he's supposed to by nature have an overshield so that he naturally is more tanky. So you see how he has that 1000 health? He's gonna have like let's say 1500 because let's say the shield has 500. But nobody else has that, right? But the healer has an instant heal that nobody else has, right? And the tech guy has something that he can use to decrease his cooldowns for his skills. So, you know, I think this is pretty cool because you have like, let's say you can have a tank chess piece, but then have like DPS elements or tech elements. You know what I'm saying? or healer elements. I just really think that's a really unique, and I think that's one of the reasons why I'm still going with this, because I know I have never seen this type of like functionality for builds. Personally, I haven't seen it, at least with the way that I'm thinking, because I haven't told you guys everything that I'm doing about, you know, how I'm doing this, but it's pretty dope, you know. So the most fun I had designing is you know, everything. Like when I started drawing, it was pretty cool, and I'm like, yeah, this is tight, this is right. And then when I brought it to Blender to bring it to life, I'm like, wow, this is crazy how this is actually working. It's looking exactly like my drawings. And then when I got to the Unreal Engine, it's the most frustration I've had, mixed with the fun, I'd say. Because I'm gonna tell you something, man. The Unreal Engine, you would think that there's something really massively wrong with your project, but you might have just not connected a node, and it just threw your whole code off because you missed connecting one node that won't make it work. And you would spend weeks trying to figure out what's wrong with it. But over time, as you understand how things need to be connected, how things need to be referenced, then you start to understand, like, okay, that's not working because this isn't connected. So you go to the source of the problem. You know what I'm saying? So you really like the class system and how each class affects gear and play style. It seems really fun. Yeah, I mean, Christian, were you here from like earlier when I was really going into detail about it? Because it's really deep the way it works. And like I said, I lost my project, and I wish that I had more of the abilities and talents to show you guys, but that's all I have so far. You know, it's all good, man. I appreciate you guys stopping by. You know, 9 o'clock now, 9 o'clock Eastern time. You use Procreate for some of the outfits as well. So I use Procreate to do my concept art. That's what I was using. That's what I was doing. My concept art in. Does the RPG video game always have these rarity items for progression? Always seems the rarity always seeing the same rarity colors. Well, I mean, yeah, you know, they always have like blue for rare and like purple for like there's a purple one for what is it? Epic, yeah, and then you have yellow for legendary. But I mean, I'm doing my rarity system different. I went into detail about how I'm gonna do a rarity system. I wanted to make it so that rare items and lower items don't just get discarded after using them. They're gonna have like certain things that make you want to use them, even though they're not as high stats of the legendary. They're going for more running gun type of game. Plan on adding off gadgets in the future. Okay, there are already offensive gadgets added to like the ability system. Like I was talking about earlier, you have like a taser gun that basically incapacitates the enemy but deals very little damage. The whole point of it is utility, so that other teammates can shoot him, but you can't shoot him. You just have the taser on him. And then there's another like gun that's like has hack darts, to where when you shoot the enemy, it jams their gun, and it will like, you know, your gun will be jammed. You can't shoot for like, let's say it's like 3 seconds or something like that. And you also have like for the ultimate abilities, I didn't go into that, but for the ultimate ability for the Guardian right here, the reinforced, basically it looks like a shield, right? So that chest piece detaches from your character and drops to the ground and expands for like a mobile cover, and whoever's on that cover gets all these defensive bonuses, defensive buffs for a short time. That's the ultimate ability. Ultimate ability for the DPS chest piece, he has a turret that goes like on the shoulder, like a shoulder turret, like kind of like the Predator, and it like shoots the enemy automatically whoever, it just auto targets like a regular a drone turret, a drone. And at any given time, you could detach that and throw it to the ground, and it will be like a sentry turret for defensive purposes or for fortification needs. So the tech ultimate ability has like a drone that you can send out, and each class has, like I said, each class has 3 different variants: the defense, utility, and damage. So that's in relation to the chest piece too, and the ultimate abilities for those. So I have a whole thing that I can go into about the ultimate ability system, but I think that that's a conversation for another day, because my stream, I've really come a long way. Thank you so much. But I'm gonna be streaming again on Saturday at noon. You know, hopefully more people would know about it, and more people will be able to. Because the crazy thing is that I wasn't able to stream on my Identity Games channel, which is actually linked to my event, right? So like when you go to my event, people see it and they click on my YouTube channel. It's supposed to go to the same channel where I'm supposed to be streaming it, right? But for some reason I wasn't able to stream on my Identity Games channel because that was my first time streaming, and they said I have like 24 hours to wait. I'm like, hold on, so I can't even stream on my Identity Games channel the first day? So I had to like make a video telling people to come to this channel on my other channel. So I think that kind of disrupted the flow of the stream. But on Saturday I'm going to be streaming on Identity Games, and hopefully I'll get more traction and more people can come through and talk more about the ultimate abilities, go more in depth about everything. Yeah, it is fun actually when you use it, man. It's a fun game to play actually. Will abilities and or equipment be upgradable? Yeah, but the thing is I haven't implemented the stat system, or how that's actually going to work in correlation with the gear, because there's some things I need to figure out about how I actually want to do it. Yeah, my notifications bombed this. What do you mean? Your notifications. So how were you able to find the stream, Christian? I just want to know. Alright everyone, I think that'll do it, man. This is really a relief. Didn't tell you I had to type you up. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I don't have any expectations about, getting discovered or anything like that. I have a lot of impressions on my channel. Hopefully this gives me a lot of wish lists. Go ahead, wish list my game, all I could do from here is just do my best, man. That's it. I'm just doing this out of pure passion, and we'll just see where we go from here. But I think as far as developing, I'm gonna take a little break because I've been working so hard for like 4 months trying to get this thing to where it's at now, and I'm pleasantly surprised with where it's at. And I can't thank y'all enough for supporting me. But that'll do it for this one. Thank you for your questions. Leave comments, on the Discord if you have any questions. You can ask me questions there. Let's keep this conversation going, man. Let's keep this journey. It's been good thus far. I'm getting some good views on my Identity Games channel. I just hit 2,000 subs. We're doing good over there. Let's keep it moving, man. I'm just moving with my own energy, man. Appreciate that, Char. I really wanted your opinion, man. I really wanted your opinion because this guy Char, man, he's my moderator for my Discord. He's a really cool guy. He's a fellow game developer himself. He started shortly after I did, and you know, we were gonna start bouncing ideas off of each other, man. You know, I'm glad that you like my game. I'm glad that you guys enjoy it, and I'm glad that you don't think it's corny. Yeah, the dynamic weather, it's there, it's natural. It goes through with different weather systems, snowstorms, whatever you want, man. But I really have to pretty much wrap this up, you know. I'm about to eat dinner. I've been talking for the last 3 hours and I think my voice is going. But hey, let's talk in the Discord. Let's talk in the Discord. Let's keep this conversation moving. Catch y'all later. Have a good night, y'all.